Hi, I'm April. I am a singer-songwriter and music teacher, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. Normally we talk about songwriting on this channel, but today I thought I'd switch it up. I'm going to be giving you my top 3 tips for improving your singing. As those of you who watch this channel regularly know, we love to dispel myths here. So today we're going to dispel the myth that only the selected few chosen by the gods themselves can carry a tune? I think that concept is totally ridiculous, and today I am going to prove it! So let's start with number 1, breathing. The weird thing about breathing as a singer is that we actually want to take kind of backwards breaths from the breaths that we normally take. Instead of taking a breath where our chests go up and our bellies tuck in, we actually sort of want to do the opposite. So what we're going to do is place our hands right kind of where my belt is, which is right at that natural waist, right below your ribs. And we're going to try to breathe like we are just one big giant cylinder. So we're going to try to go and fill up our bellies really big. And then as we're breathing back out, we want to keep our ribs nice and open so that we can let that breath last a lot longer. You've probably heard the phrase breathe from your diaphragm over and over, and that basically is the concept that we're going for here. But a lot of the time people don't actually know what that means. So your diaphragm, for those of you who don't know, is a thin sheet of muscle that is right at the bottom of your ribs, and it's not a lung, so you can't breathe into it literally. But what you can do is cause it to move, which then triggers a response in other sections of your body. So essentially what we're doing is we're breathing down here and having a full breath here so that our diaphragms are actually able to drop down, and then our lungs physically have more room to fill up with air. And then that way we also have a lot more control when we're breathing out and holding a note. I like to visualize the diaphragm as just a trampoline inside of my body going boing, boing, boing. Another thing to keep in mind here is that we want to make sure that our shoulders are back. I think a nice way to practice this is to lift your shoulders way up to your ears and count to 5. And while you're counting to 5, your shoulders are going to start getting used to that position. And then it's going to be a lot easier to get them to stay back while you're actually singing. You can do a similar thing by touching your elbows in the back. That's also going to help keep your spine nice and straight. Number 2. One of the biggest things that I come across in vocal lessons is facial tension. So something we really want to keep in mind is that we want our jaws and our foreheads to be super chill and relaxed while we're singing. So I like to practice by putting my hands like this on my face, which looks really, really silly. Until you actually start realizing how much your jaw tension is actually affecting your voice. So you can actually go ahead and practice by putting your hand in various places on your face and watching how that actually affects the way that you're singing. The other big place that I tend to see a lot of tension is up in here. You see all of these veins popping in someone's neck and it looks super painful, but like they're getting really into it. Instead of thinking about our throats that way, we're gonna think of them like they're just a tube that our voices are going through. This is your throat. Da, 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 da. All that's happening here is that my voice is going through this tube. And you can see that the tube doesn't look strained at all, because it's not. Because it's a tube. Think about your throat the exact same way. Your voice should feel like it's coming from a lot lower in your body. So don't think of it like your throat is doing all the work. Your throat is doing as little work as it has to do. Let your throat be lazy. Let your face be lazy. Try to stay as chill as possible while you sing. Number 3 is actually one of my favorite vocal tricks that I feel like a lot of people don't really know about. It's the trick that helps us get to all of those pretty high notes. If I wanted to sing this high note, a lot of the time what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna cut off all the air from my throat. But A, that's not gonna sound very nice, and B, it's putting a lot of stress on my throat. So instead what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna try to do the opposite. We're gonna relax our jaw, and what I want you to do with me is try to yawn. But don't do a full yawn. Let it kind of stop halfway so that it's almost like you're halfway through a yawn or halfway through a gasp, like an up gasp, rather than a down gasp. And then when you get to that high note in the song, think about that lift in the back of your mouth. Sometimes it's really helpful to just picture the back of your mouth as a big domed cathedral, or to imagine you're taking an egg and popping it into your mouth. There are a million ways to go about it, but the thing that we're doing here is we are lifting our soft palates. The front of the roof of your mouth is called your hard palate. As you feel further back, without choking yourself, hopefully, the roof of your mouth starts to get a lot squishier. So that's the part that we're trying to lift up. And actually, this doesn't have to just be for those high notes. This can be for lower notes too. So instead of and trying to give ourselves a double chin, we're gonna stay nice and level, just like we talked about earlier. And there you can see that all I'm doing is staying relaxed and lifting in the back of my mouth. And that helps me to hit all of those crazy notes that feel really difficult. Singing is all about creating space within our bodies and staying relaxed while still having good posture. So those are the things I really want you to take away from this video. And in general, just know that all of these steps do take time. They are things that you can improve and you can keep working on, because singing is not just a static thing that like Simon Cowell tells you you're bad at and then that's the end of the road. Singing is a journey. It's something that I improve at every single time I practice. It is a skill. It is something that you can improve. It is something that you can be great at the more that you practice. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, give it a like. Let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll do another one like this in the future. And consider subscribing. I would love to see you around here again.